Welcome to episode 3 of How to Be a Texan. This is Kevin Holder, joined by my friend Kyle Kirkpatrick again this week. Kyle and I are both native Texans, and we came up with this idea to do a podcast about all things Texas. So we'll delve into topics about Texas, being a Texan, what it's like to grow up or to live here in Texas. Today we're going to delve into the 12 most deadliest animals to watch out for here in Texas.
Yeah. All right, so I hate to say it, but this is just frightening for me to think about. But if you live here or if you're coming here, just please know there are things that will kill you here. And I am.
You mean like guns?
Well,
talking about guns again?
No.
We're on the gun topic.
I'm off. This is I'm talking about non-humans.
Non-humans.
Yeah. And so
aliens.
No, not aliens. But okay, so there's an article actually that Deadly Texas Animals, and it's got a list of 10 or 12 things here that will kill you. And the very first one, I can't even look at the picture; it creeps me out so hard. Is as Andrew's dying over here. It's a cottonmouth, and anybody that doesn't know what a cottonmouth is, the other
we
name
used to
of
call it a water moccasin.
What?
Water moccasin. Water moccasin. Moccasin.
Mox?
It's water moccasin.
Yeah.
I guess if you're fancy, but where I was from, it was just a water moccasin.
I thought you were actually struggling with that word.
I was.
Moxan?
Moccasin. I don't know.
Moxan?
Watch out for the water moccasin.
Well, you do need to watch out for them because they're terrible. I can't even look at this picture. Anyway, I'm going to brave up and look at this picture because it's a water moccasin or a cottonmouth.
That is a nasty-looking cottonmouth.
And so a lot of times you'll mistake these things for these water snakes, but I don't mistake them at all. And so
if you see a snake in the water, you assume it's a water moccasin.
Disclaimer to PETA. So shout out to PETA here. My family saying is a good snake's a dead snake, and I was raised that way because we have bad snakes here. We have rattlesnakes, we have water moccasins, and we have copperheads. Mm-hmm. And those three in particular are all over the place up here. And now, not as many rattlesnakes. In North Texas, you don't have as many rattlesnakes.
Maybe not around here, but as I was reading through on this, Texas and Arizona both top the list for the number and types of rattlesnakes.
Oh, yeah.
So they're up there. Tons of rattlesnakes. I went dove hunting one time when I was about 16 or 17. Just went with some friends. Didn't really know what we were doing. Somebody had a lease on Possum Kingdom. So we decided to go dove hunting. So we took some shotguns out there, drove out there, spent the night. We killed nothing but a bunch of rattlesnakes. That's all we got. Didn't get a single dove, but killed probably 6 or 7 rattlesnakes.
That's horrifying.
It's good eating.
No, it's not. If you're like Gus McCrae going through the desert, Llano Estacado, you have to kill a horse or a rattlesnake for your dinner.
Well,
we don't have to do that anymore. Just eat some popcorn. It's fine.
Just go by Costco before the hunting trip and load up.
Yeah, love Costco. I was there yesterday.
Not back in my day. Back in my day, we had to
kill
them, skin them, cook them over an open fire.
No, I don't think so.
Rub 2 sticks together to make a fire.
No, that's Survivor. It's on
tough
TV.
Way of life.
It's on TV.
We were naked and afraid.
So anyway, the cottonmouth ranks number 1 as one of the Texas deadly animals. And I agree with that. And one day I'll tell you about my best shot ever. I'm sure I've already told you about that, but with my grandmother. But anyway, I'll tell you about that someday.
You shot your grandmother?
No, I shot a cottonmouth to save her life.
Really?
My wife.
Well, yeah, that would be the time to tell that story.
Well, if my wife's listening, she'll be like, Kyle, I've heard that story 300 times. It was a really good shot. I'll tell you about it some other time. Anyway, so number 2 is a diamondback rattlesnake. Those are very aggressive, so please be careful for that. Number 3, oh my gosh, it creeps me out even to say this, a brown recluse spider. That will kill you dead.
You know, Kendra got bit by one of those.
Yeah, and it's necrotic poison. It just decays all your skin away.
Yeah, she's still got a scar about the size of half a dollar on her leg.
It'll make
This happened
$50
right
a
after we
month.
got married in our first
terrible.
apartment.
That's terrible.
It's huge.
Brown
sore.
recluse. Ugh. Okay.
But we saved her leg. We didn't have to amputate.
thank goodness.
That would have been a bummer in the first year of marriage.
Well, Amy's the first meal she made for me, it was about 3 weeks after we got married. I had to go to the emergency department because I had a massive allergic reaction to that. So there's something in that first year.
First year is the best.
Brown
year.
recluse spider bites, allergic spaghetti. I don't know. Anyway,
What in the world can you do to spaghetti to put you into an emergency room?
I don't know. Ask her. Anyway, number 4 is an American alligator. So down around the coast, I'm sure.
We got alligators around here?
in the bayou. Oh yeah, we got alligators, but they're down south. They're in South Texas, and you don't want to mess with them.
I heard there was a shark in Lake Louisville. It was a fake. Did you see that fake article? Total fake article.
No,
And it got shared all over Facebook. It was all this stuff. Well, be careful if you're boating out in Lake Louisville. They found a shark. Like,
you might
Really?
find a big gar. That's about it.
Yeah.
Now I tell you, if you ever come across an alligator gar, now that's a scary looking thing. That's a prehistoric looking.
those look like, something from the Stone Age.
Yeah.
Those
You know
are
how people
nasty.
catch those things? They'll fray the end of a rope, dip it in pig blood, and throw it out in the river, and that's how they catch it.
Why do they want to catch it?
Well, they eat it. Real bony, but they eat it. No kidding. Somebody told me that. I've never done that.
Well, why not just eat the pig that you had to slaughter to get
I
the
don't-
blood on the rope?
I don't
to
know the answer to that.
Catch a nasty looking fish. Any fish that big's got to taste nasty.
I don't know that. Number 5 on the list is a Portuguese man-o-war. And the picture of this is this giant blue blob on the beach. You know, that looks
Kind of
horrible.
how I look on the beach
Well, you're not blue.
sometimes.
Well, all right. If you're
That
dead-
is a nasty looking thing.
Yeah, can
What's
you ever-
that big spine?
I don't know, but it's if y'all Google a man-o-war, a Portuguese man-o-war, apparently they will kill you in Texas waters. So please be careful of that. And it's a conglomeration of organisms. It's not one; it's a whole bunch of them. So the tentacles themselves are a mass of organisms that want to just kill you.
That's
So
awesome.
Terrible. No, I've never seen one, nor do I want to.
I mean, some with a name like that.
A man-o-war? Well, it sounds cool. I mean, it's
Why Portuguese?
I don't know.
I don't think of the Portuguese as being so tough.
Well, they are tough. There's a lot of Portuguese history. They're very tough people.
All right.
But the Portuguese man-o-war,
I did not know that.
Weird tangent.
I have to come back to why the Portuguese are so tough. and How Texans relate
Don't mess
to
with Portugal. I messed with it, man. It's like, don't mess
you
with
should.
Texas.
You should not. The number 6 on the list is a copperhead. These are all over the place. Matter of fact, I was weed eating. This was 2 years ago. I was out weed eating just up the fence line, and I'll be darned, I weed eated the head off of a copperhead.
You have a lot of snakes on your place, and I've yet to have one here.
Well, it came out. It was under a bunch of leaves,
Yeah.
and I hit it, and it started going up the fence post, and then I just max
You whacked
forced,
his head off with the weed eater.
and then I put a boot to it. That's what you do.
Well, every time I reach into my wood pile out there, I expect that to be Snake Central.
You should not. You should do it with like a big stick or something.
Well, I wear gloves and stuff, but I've never seen a snake out there.
You know, Poncho got bit by a copperhead.
Yeah?
Yeah, you remember Poncho?
Yeah, I remember Poncho.
Anyway,
One of Kendra's friends got bit by a copperhead. She was sticking her hand in the chicken coop to get the eggs, and that sucker was waiting right there. Better, had to go to the hospital.
you know, a very frightening story. My grandmother. This is Oklahoma, so maybe that doesn't count. But anyway, it's southern Oklahoma where my grandmother lived. She'd send me in her chicken house, and it was a cinder block chicken house, very scary in itself. But anyway, she came yelling at me one day. She said, "Kyle, you need to get out there and kill this chicken snake. It's in the chicken house." And so I went in there, and it was about 8 feet long. It was the biggest thing I ever seen in my life. And it's this itty bitty little cinder block house, and it's me and this 8-foot, terrible snake. And she's like, "Kill it with this." And
With
she
a hoe?
gave me a petrified frog gig.
A what?
Exactly.
A frog gig?
So it's like a trident. It's got 3 little prongs on it, and it was probably 400 years old. But that's what they used to eat. They would go out and they'd go frog gigging.
Oh,
Yeah, and they would gig it with these trident-looking things. It was just anyway. So it was basically on petrified wood, and she's like, "I'll kill it with this gig."
It was on petrified wood.
No, I'm just making that up. It was old wood, and it basically, as soon as I stabbed the snake with this gig, it just blew up. And it just made the snake. The snake just got madder, and I had nothing. So here's my 80-year-old grandmother, and I'm like, "Grandma, you got to go to the house and get something. I can't." Anyway, so I was stepping on it, and
this was a chicken snake?
Yeah.
What's a chicken snake?
Well, again, Peter's going to get on us for this, but it's actually a good. That's a good kind of snake. They eat rats and mice and all kinds of stuff. But when they get in the chicken house and they're eating eggs, that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
So you got to get rid of that.
Yeah.
So, and she would plant golf balls in there and all that, and hope that would kill them. But
so it would eat a golf ball
and hopefully not be able to digest it and die of indigestion. So yeah. So number 7 on the list. My gosh, you got to look at this. It's a cougar. Can you believe we have cougars in Texas? Otherwise known as a mountain lion.
Mountain lion.
So we don't have these in Dallas or Houston. These are out in West Texas. But, Texas is so freaking big. It's like, 4 or 5 different countries smushed together. It's so big. Well, anyway, West Texas feels like it's on the other side of the world, but there's all kinds of mountains and plains and all this stuff. Anyway, cougars and mountain lions, they do just fine out there.
Yeah, these are a problem all over the Southwest.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to come up against one.
I read an article a few years ago about might have been Southern California. There was a bike trail out there. People go mountain biking.
Oh yeah.
And one guy got attacked by a mountain lion on the bike trail. Took him off the bike.
Well, you know what they say about mountain lions. If you see them, it's too late.
Well, yeah, that makes sense.
I just made that up. Nobody says that.
I went to San Diego with a friend, and we were trying to find like this hiking trail. We ended up not finding it, and we were just kind of walking around randomly because we thought this was like the trail, but it wasn't. And my friend was like, there's like mountain lions out here. You need to watch out.
Yeah.
Be careful.
That's probably the trail where the guy got killed.
We didn't see any, but
We don't have
Ramona, California.
Ramona.
And you can't even shoot them out there.
Yeah.
Just got to find them with your bare hands.
One thing that's not on the list is bears. I don't think we have bears here in Texas. But I do have an interesting story. I had the opportunity to go to Alaska, and I went fishing with, believe it or not, my brother-in-law's brother-in-law. Anyway, his best friend was Ned. And Ned...
Are we supposed to know who Ned is?
No,
oh, okay.
No. Well, anyway, but there's...
You say it like Ned, like Elvis or something.
Well,
Ned.
I remember Ned distinctly now because 3 years after I went fishing with him, he was out hunting on Kodiak Island and got eaten by a bear.
Jeez.
All he found was like a shoe in his backpack. Can you believe that?
Wow.
So anyway, Texas is not Alaska. Alaska's like legit scary with killer animals.
That had a dark ending. I wasn't expecting that.
No, he got eaten. The shoe. I'm not sure if it was left or right, but I'm not sure it matters.
All that was left was a shoe and a backpack.
A backpack. That's what they found. Ned was a good guy, too. Anyway.
Good guy. Sounded like he was tasty, too.
Yeah. Number 8 on the list is a scorpion. We have striped bark scorpions. I don't know about striped bark, but I know we have plenty of scorpions, and they're bad. And then number 9 on the list are wild hogs. I mean, who would say those are deadly? Well, they are.
Oh, they can be deadly.
Yeah. They've got giant tusks. Yeah. The boar have giant tusks, and they're very mean.
They're mean. I was just going to say that. They're mean suckers.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to mess with those. Number 10 is a kissing bug. I have no idea. I think it gives disease, but I would add to the kissing bug the mosquito and the tick. We have those, and as we well know, the mosquitoes give West Nile virus, and that has definitely affected our family. Number 11 on the list are coyotes. Got a lot of coyotes. I wouldn't consider those terribly dangerous. They're a bunch of weenies.
Not to people.
Yeah.
And that's what this says. It's to pets and livestock.
Oh yeah, they're stone cold killer on kitties.
Well, on chickens too. I think
Yeah, that's
several of our chickens have
been donated to.
donated. Yeah.
I know we've lost 3 cats to coyotes, I think.
Really?
And hawks and owls and whatever else. Anyway, and then we've got number 12 on the list is raccoon. Why would they put raccoon on the list of deadly animals in Texas?
I don't know.
Well, they're just so cute. Look how cute that guy is.
This just says that they're pesky, which they are.
Well, they do carry rabies.
Oh, it can get into bloody scraps with livestock and pets.
I
guess
ever
they can
tell you that
hurt
story
pets.
about Lucy treeing 2 raccoons?
Yeah, because you were trying to shoot them.
Well, I did.
You hung out for several nights
No, I know.
trying to shoot those things.
Yeah, it happened. But Lucy, my untrained my basset hound, she had never been trained, but it is just so instinctual for a bloodhound to be able to tree a raccoon. I thought it was brilliant. So, anyway, proud of Lucy. So anyway, that's
You went through a lot of iterations to get rid of that thing, though, didn't you?
well, I tried to trap it, and because it was coming in and eating our barn cat food in
Yeah.
our garage.
Yep.
They're so smart. So anyway, finally, I just put Lucy on it.
You heard Matt and Brandy's raccoon story, right?
Mm-mm.
No?
Mm-mm.
You remember when they moved into that house over by us in Flower Mound?
Mm-hmm.
Raccoons were living in the attic.
Oh,
Like a whole family of them.
oh wow! How do you get rid of that?
It took them a while.
Oh,
But what a nightmare, man.
yeah.
How does that not uncovered in the house inspection? I don't know.
No, I don't know either. All right. Okay, so that was a pretty scary topic, just talking about stuff that can kill you. That's just awful. My gosh, I still got that picture of that water moccasin, the moccasin, as Kevin calls it. Anyway.
I will say this. I would never want one as a pet, but I think the vipers are pretty cool. You know, the vipers like the rattlesnakes and the copperheads, even cottonmouths, I think are considered vipers because they basically have, night vision built in. So the reason they're called vipers is they got these little pits that sense heat. And then their brain will overlay those heat images with what they can see because their eyes aren't very good. So at night, it's basically like they've got night vision. So anyway, it's kind of cool to read about. I wouldn't want to run in. I wouldn't want to run into one at night, but
Well, my
it's
only
pretty cool.
I'll share it with you. My only story of coming face to face with a rattlesnake, which is it a viper? Is a rattlesnake a viper?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's that triangle head, and that's what you got to watch out for. Is I was coming out of I had a deer lease down in Junction, Texas for a long time. Anyway, I used to bow hunt a lot as a younger man, and I got cocky one day. I had my truck probably 600-700 yards away from the deer blind, and I came out at dusk, and I was walking down this dirt road, and I thought, well, I don't need to get my flashlight out. It's still, with the waning light, right at dusk. Mm-hmm. It wasn't pitch black by any means, but I'm like, my car's just right there. I'll just get to it. Anyway, so I'm walking along with my bow in one hand, my backpack on my back, and I take a step. I remember I was on my left foot, and I took my right foot, came up, and I heard it at my foot in front of me, and it,
Oh, you heard the rattle. Yeah.
It was curled up, and I've never stopped that quick. I stopped, I backed up about 10 yards, put my backpack down, got my flashlight out, and there it was. And, oh, my gosh.
It's a close one.
Yeah, I almost could have been dead.
Yeah.
So anyway.
I'm sure you had boots on.
No, I think I was just in flip-flops. No.
Well, that's your mistake.
I had boots on. But I don't know if that would have helped.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
It would have.
I mean, as long as you're not stupid. I mean, you got boots on or you wear gloves and stuff. You're not going to.
I don't think it would have helped. I think I'd be dead. Anyway.
You killed a bunch of snakes in your barn, haven't you?
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of snakes.
I wonder why you got.
Not too many this year.
I wonder if it's because you got both of those ponds on either side of your place.
I don't know. This year I've been real lucky.
Yeah.
And of course they're all sleeping now. It's cold outside.
Yeah.
Thank goodness. Maybe they're all dying. So.
Well, they do help keep the rats away, so there's something to that.
All right. So I think that's a good conversation today. We gave you, as Kevin and I are ADD, this was perfect for us because we're all over the place. We're talking about stuff that can kill you. So I think this was a fun conversation. So anyway, How to Be a Texan. We appreciate y'all listening, and would also appreciate if you give us some reviews and subscribe to our podcast, and we'll hopefully be able to give you some good fun listening material week after week.
Adios.
Adios, sucker.